Hello, I'm Scott Eldridge, CEO and Director of Military Metals Corp. We are listed on the CSE under the ticker symbol MILI. Military Metals holds one of the strongest antimony portfolio of any publicly listed company, and we're focused on 3 different countries, all NATO countries, including Slovakia, Canada, and the US. And we wanted to put together an investment vehicle that gave investors direct exposure to the rising antimony prices that we've seen for the last 18 months. And that's very important because antimony is not an exchange traded metal. There's no ETFs, so there's no futures contracts that investors can play. So the only way to get exposure to antimony, which is one of the key critical minerals, is to invest in equities like our company. I'll start off with Slovakia. This is our flagship asset. It has had a significant amount of money spent on it in the past during the 1980s. And when the Cold War ended in 1992, everyone dropped their shovels and walked away because the demand for antimony dropped off. But during the 1980s, there were 63 holes drilled into the project and 1.7 kilometers worth of underground workings developed. Probably about $10 to $15 million in today's money, but more importantly, the time as well. So we are currently working to transition the historical Soviet-era resource into an NI 43-101 resource, working with SLR, an international resource firm. And we will be drilling 10 infill holes to confirm the historical work, at which point we will publish a maiden NI 43-101 on the project. Based on the Soviet-era work, we're highly confident that there's about 60,000 tons of contained antimony in the ground in this project, unexploited, and the current spot price is about $60,000 US per ton. So that means there's about $3.6 billion worth of metal in the ground. And besides just the in situ value of the project, this is a highly strategic project for the EU, for Slovakia, because it's the only one in Europe. So we're very excited for our shareholders to advance that project. Second, I'll move on to our Westcore project located in Nova Scotia. This mine has an interesting story. It was a past producer during World War I, where an antimony concentrate was shipped to Wales to support the Allied war efforts at the time. And the last shipment that became the demise of the project was actually sunk by a German U-boat. So we know from the historical workings that there's an ore body there. It remains open at depth, open along strike, and recent geophysical work has identified several structures which we believe are additional drill targets on the property. And we plan to commence a drill program there probably starting in October. And all the evidence is pointing to a new discovery at that property, which we would hopefully see evolve into an NI 43-101 resource as well on that project. And then thirdly, I'll move to our last chance property in Nevada, which has a similar story to Westcore, where this was a past producing mine in World War I. And then as demand for antimony dropped off, everyone walked away and left the project, and we were able to pick this up at the bottom of the market for very advantageous terms. We've recently been looking at the structural geology there, and we're now confident that we have drill targets. So we'd like to come in and drill the last chance property as well. Antimony is a hidden gem in the periodic table, and it has multiple different demand pillars that differentiates it from other critical minerals that are typically one-trick ponies. The number one demand for antimony is fire retardants. Second would be solar panels, and then third would be the defense sector. So antimony is used in numerous different defense sector applications, including 300 different munitions. And in any of those 3 sections of demand, there is no known replacement or alternative for antimony. So even with these rising prices, we don't see any opportunity for a substitute. So the demand picture is very strong for antimony, and coupled in with the fact that China is the world's largest producer and miner of antimony, and they've recently adopted an export ban to the US. So we're just not really seeing any flow of antimony out of China as the world's number one supplier. So that's forcing other countries to advance domestic projects forward as quickly as possible. So for 2024, antimony was the top performing metal commodity ahead of gold. The only commodity that beat it was cocoa. And being the top performing metal commodity, that's drawn a lot of investor awareness towards antimony. There was an interesting Forbes article now about 4 years ago that had the headline "Antimony, the most important metal that you've never heard of." So as we pound the streets and create awareness for the company, we're just happy to sort of help educate the audience at how important antimony and the other critical minerals are to our daily lives. Sometimes people are unaware, but they're definitely learning more every day, and antimony is one of the key elements on the top of the critical minerals list. Yeah, we're a very active company, busy on 3 projects in 3 different countries. And in terms of news flow, people that follow us know that we have news usually 2 to 3 times per month. That trend will certainly continue here through the fall as we lead into the new year. Critical minerals have become a very hot topic, and we've seen a tremendous amount of capital come in from governments, particularly in the US. And I think that will be a growing trend as we're starting to see Richter scale level defense spending budgets from the EU, from the US to the tune of trillions of dollars. And none of those budgets can be fulfilled without the raw materials, the metals that are required to build out the military inventories, and antimony is forefront at that list. So watch for announcement of a couple of drilling campaigns, as well as those drill results as we get the assays in from the labs. Please follow us. Our website is www.militarymetalscorp.com.